Well, I kind of sort of teased this one back in my I used to watch Onision video, which surprisingly has over 800 views. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but it happened, and I did say I was going to talk about a certain duo that used to be popular on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure everyone knew who the fuck I was referencing when I mentioned that, and it's obvious now if you read the fucking title. I used to watch Smosh. And I used to really, really love the fuck out of Smosh. Now, unlike all the other YouTubers I watched, I didn't get into Smosh in 2010, even though they were huge in 2010. But, I didn't pay attention to Smosh. I heard of them, but I never really had any interest in Smosh. It wasn't until 2012, early 2012, around March of 2012, I heard about Smosh so much. Kids from my elementary school, YouTube comments, and I've seen a bunch of videos here on the homepage here and there. Back when YouTube actually recommended actual YouTubers on their homepage. Remember that? Good times. But anyways, I've seen Smosh everywhere, and I was like, who the fuck is Smosh? I mean, why are people talking about them so fucking much? And then I went on their channel, and I forget what exactly was the first video I watched of theirs, but I was like, this is funny as fuck. I love these two guys. I'm gonna watch every single video they put out, and I did. And every Friday when they would upload a video, I would be one of the first people to watch a Smosh video. And it was kind of like the Annoying Orange. The Annoying Orange uploaded on Friday. Smosh did too, and I was always one of the first people to watch a video of theirs when it came out. I was the under 301 club. Remember the 301 views? Thank God that's gone. Anyway, yeah, so this was going for a while. I would watch their videos, and at the end they would always say, to see bloopers of this video, yada yada yada. They would pimp out their site. I would also go on their site and watch the exclusive videos, like the blooper reels and shit like that. Those I like those too. I thought those were funny as fuck as well. And I even watched some of their videos on their site, their actual videos, like their actual Smosh videos. The videos they uploaded on their side channel, when they're eating food and reading tweets and shit. Come to think about it, those videos were really fucking shitty. And I watched videos like that on their actual site, This is kind of, I know this is 2012. I mean, this is kind of after, websites to host content was on its way out. But, it was still kind of prevalent back then because, YouTube wasn't as big as it is today back in 2012. But yeah, I really enjoyed Smosh. I loved the fuck out of Smosh. This was after I grew out of the Annoying Orange, Fred, and Onision. I just got bored of. And I really enjoyed Smosh up until about September. I noticed a decline in their videos. I don't know if there was actually a decline, but I just wasn't enjoying them as much as I did for those few months. I mean, this is kind of different from Annoying Orange and Fred and Onision because with Smosh, I didn't really have, the time where I really enjoyed their videos didn't last a year or two or any of that. This only lasted for about, I don't know, 6 months, and then I just kind of got bored of Smosh, I had a bunch of friends who liked Smosh too at the time, and even my friends were like, Smosh is getting kind of boring, and again, I don't know if Smosh really did have a decline in their content or anything, but I just wasn't that interested anymore, and when 2013 rolled around, I had zero fucking interest in Smosh. I did not care. I didn't really enjoy, well, I did enjoy their content a bit. I watched their older videos and really liked it, but their newer stuff didn't interest me, and I didn't really click on their videos. I mean, I checked them occasionally from time to time to see what they're up to, but it wasn't my interest wasn't anywhere near what it was during those few months in 2012. And this is also when I got into channels like Undertaker Freak 1127 and the Archfiend, and completely moved on from comedy skit channels like Smosh was. And in a way, I think this is kind of me just maturing and growing out of that content. I mean, I was turning 12 around the time, yeah, so mature, 12 years old, whatever. But I was kind of growing out of the whole comedy skit thing, and I moved on to ranting channels, people who just sit in front of their webcam and talk. I was starting to really dig that kind of content, and I didn't really enjoy the comedy skit content that was so prevalent on YouTube at the time. I felt felt like, you know what, this is just childish shit. I grew out of this shit. I'm not interested in this kind of content anymore. And I moved on to channels like that. And also, you know, summer of 2013, I'm sure some of you probably remember this, when Smosh tried to make their food battle app, and they wanted $200,000 fucking dollars from their fans, even though anyone who had a fucking functioning brain knew that they could definitely afford 200,000. They could definitely afford putting 200,000 fucking dollars in a fucking app on the App Store, even though apps don't normally cost nearly as much to fucking make. So I don't know why the fuck they wanted $200,000. Oh wait, I know why they wanted $200,000, because they were fucking money hungry, and they wanted to suck all the money out of their fans. You know, like a fucking mosquito or a fucking leech, whatever, however you see it, just sucking all the money out of their fans, like it was fucking blood. But anyways, yeah. And that kind of solidified me not wanting to watch Smosh anymore, because I was like, why the fuck would I want to support these e-begging douchebags? Even though I kind of do support some e-begging douchebags today. The Amazing Atheist, TJ Kirk, kind of comes to mind. I watch all of his shit, and, you know, he's kind of a well-known e-beggar, whatever. So, yeah, that's kind of when my interest in Smosh completely dwindled away. You know, I moved on to different kinds of channels, and I wasn't into the kind of shit that Smosh did, but Smosh's channel really just encapsulates, if I'm fucking pronouncing that right. I'm tired. It's fucking 3 a.m. when I'm recording this, so don't expect like me to pronounce things exactly how they're supposed to be pronounced, because my brain is fried. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, Smosh's channel really did capture like what YouTube was at the time. You know, all the comedy skit channels. You know, people just amateur channels, really, just making these comedy skits, these 2 to 3 minute comedy skits, just to get some laughs out of people. And I really do think the algorithm change kind of fucked over Smosh, because, at least to me, Smosh's decline in relevancy kind of started in 2013, and the algorithm started preferring 10-minute long videos, and, you know, Smosh's videos typically don't last 10 minutes. So, you know, the most of the videos are like 4 to 5 minutes long. You know, they're not that long, and they're not drawn out. And thankfully they don't pan out videos today like that, like a lot of fucking channels do. They just stretch it out to that 10-minute mark, because, you know, they want all that ad revenue. Anyways, so I really do think that kind of fucked over Smosh, because after that, I mean, Smosh kind of just started falling off. People just kind of stopped giving a shit about them. And to think they were the tippy top dog of YouTube at the time. Holy shit. And now Smosh is just kind of a distant memory. I mean, people were like, hey, you remember Smosh? And people were like, oh my god, I remember Smosh. I completely forgot. I used to watch that channel all the fucking time back in 2011, 2012, when they were at their peak. But I recently went back and watched some Smosh videos, and I made a video a few years ago. I don't know if it's still up. I recently purged a lot of my old content because I thought they were fucking terrible. My old videos were fucking terrible. But anyways, if this video is still up, feel free to look for it. I made a video a few years ago talking about how I didn't like Smosh anymore. Talking about pretty much saying what I said here. You know, I just completely lost interest in Smosh and all that. Although this is more, you know, just a story than a rant like that video was. But I did kind of touch upon, you know, how Smosh just lost my interest, and how I went back and watched some Smosh videos and I didn't laugh at all. Well, right now in 2018, I went back and looked at some of their older content. I laughed. I mean, it wasn't gut-bustingly hilarious. I wasn't laughing out loud or anything, but I kind of chuckled at a few videos. Most notably their Justin Bieber video. I forgot what the fuck it was called, but I think it was something about Justin Bieber going through puberty, and they're trying so desperately to preserve Justin Bieber's old voice. This is back when Justin Bieber jokes was at its peak. This video is from 2010 or some shit. So, you know, I thought it was legitimately funny, especially when when it showed Justin Bieber's tiny, tiny dick in Ian's hand. It was censored, of course. But that shit got a chuckle out of me. I really did enjoy it. But the newer videos I can't really say the same about, unfortunately. I looked at their newer stuff, and Anthony left the channel. I'm sure everyone knows that Anthony left Smosh, and yeah, Smosh should have really, really ended there. They really should have they really should have just packed it in and called it a day, and and be like, you know what, this channel's run its course. We've been doing this for over 10 fucking years, more than most people. They've been on YouTube. They've really outlived a lot of YouTubers, because a lot of YouTubers have called it quits in the span that Smosh was was making their videos. Smosh could have easily been like, you know what, we're done. No more videos on this channel. The channel's run its course, and we've had a really, really good run. I mean, not a lot of YouTubers are able to fucking run their channels, to fucking make videos regularly for that fucking long, and that's really an accomplishment. But no, they just continue to just drag it out. Smosh channel is really dead at this point. I mean, it's not really dead. They still do barely crack 1 million views. Hell, even a lot of their videos are starting to get like 500,000 views. It's just Ian now and a bunch of actors I don't even fucking know, and I don't think anyone else even fucking knows either. It's really depressing to see, because this channel was once, like I said, the tippy top dog of YouTube. And now it's just a zombie. It's really just a shell of its former self, especially now that Anthony's gone. The channel's just all... They really sold out. That's what I'm trying to say. The channel's just so corporate owned now. Smosh is more of a brand. Smosh is more of a brand now than it definitely was back then. Back then it was just two guys with a cameraman dicking around. And now it's just so corporate owned. They have all these actors. I mean, what I liked about Smosh is it was just two guys fucking around on with a camera guy, and that's it. They went to the park or some shit, filmed, and it did have a bit of fancy editing, sure, but it was definitely more raw, more you can tell they were doing it for fun. You can tell they had a lot of fun making these videos, and now Ian, I feel really fucking bad for Ian, because I don't know, I could really tell deep down inside he really doesn't fucking like doing this shit anymore. I'm sure he would love to fucking just call it quits, but if Ian leaves the channel, that is just the final nail in the coffin. And I look at their side channel, and that's also pretty fucking corporate owned now. I mean, I remember the early days of their second channel. Ian would just hold his fucking his phone, use his camera phone, and he would just dick around and do some stupid shit while he was bored. And I've seen the recent Ian is Bored episodes. I don't even know if they still do those, but now it's out of set. It has to have this fancy lighting and shit. When it really just started off with Ian just legitimately being bored and just taking out his camera and doing stupid shit. Also, the little lunchtime thing they did, lunchtime at Smosh. It used to be just Ian and Anthony heading out, ordering McDonald's or some shit, and then just eating, and it was very raw. It was very unpolished, but even that, they were out of sets, eating lunch, and answering Twitter questions. I kind of miss the days when YouTubers could just be raw, unpolished, just whip out their phone and just record themselves doing just average shit, just like that. But unfortunately, those days of YouTube is far gone. You have to be professional. You have to have professional lighting. You have to have a really high quality camera. God, YouTube has changed so fucking much. But, I kind of miss when channels like Smosh were at the top. I mean, sure, Smosh wasn't the funniest thing. It wasn't the funniest channel ever, and so were a lot of channels that tried to be Smosh at the time. But still, I mean, I would definitely prefer that over the fucking Paul brothers and shit like that. YouTubers wrestling each other, YouTubers having beef, YouTubers making diss tracks. It's just a fucking mess right now on YouTube, I swear. I would kind of wish we could just go back to that simpler time of YouTube where, people were just making skits, or making just really really lazy vlogs and just taking out their camera phone and just recording themselves doing average shit. I mean, sure, that shit isn't really entertaining in the slightest, but I would take that YouTube over the YouTube we have now any day of the fucking week. So I used to watch Smosh. I have no regrets, unlike the other three YouTubers I've talked about, and this really concludes this little mini series of mine where I talk about old YouTubers that aren't relevant anymore, that I used to really enjoy back when they were at their peak. Smosh definitely fared way better than the other YouTubers I talked about, especially Onision. But still, Smosh definitely did fall from grace. I mean, their empire definitely it didn't crumble, but it's definitely not what it used to be. It's nearing its total destruction. If that makes any sense. Again, it's almost fucking 4 in the morning. Don't expect me to, to make complete sense here. I know this video is just a rambling mess, but then again, it's just this whole series is really just me rambling about YouTubers I used to watch. When they're at their peak, how I discovered them and shit like that, how they fell from grace, all that shit. But yeah, I don't regret watching Smosh. I think I don't think their videos were fucking excellent or anything, but still, I thought they were. I think they're decent. They definitely did manage to get a chuckle out of me. The new videos, I can't really say the same, but still, they did their job back in the day, and the channel Smosh should really fucking should really fucking end. But I guess they just want to drag this out for as long as they can. And so yeah. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Bye bye.